loves, welcome back to my channel. If you are new to my channel, my name is Desirae Alexandra and welcome. So disclaimer, do not mind my, what is it called, my raspy voice, my congested voice. I actually could smell my nose is not congested, but I am coming down from a cold. So usually when I do get a cold, my voice does change like this. It's a lot worse, but it's actually really cute when it sounds worse, but that's why my voice sounds like this. And also don't mind my little cough attacks I'm gonna have here and there, because I know with all this talking I'm definitely gonna be coughing. So today so all the mukbangs, is that how you say it? Mukbangs? All the mukbangs that I've seen from influencers, they're always in their car, and I'm like, why are you in your car? Like, you have a whole studio to film. But I just wanted to like try it out too. It's kind of like a vibe. And I have my food here too. I just don't understand how they do it. Like, I'm wearing a dress right now and my thighs are sweating. The air is on. I don't get it why they do it in the car. But I am going to talk about my pregnancy so far. I got Wobble Grow. Let me open it up. Yeah. Oh man, I got dirty. Fuck. Ah! I got dirty. So I got half steak and half chicken with rice. I usually get veggies, but I don't know why I ordered it without veggies. I always get a side of teriyaki sauce because I love to drench my rice in that sauce, and a bunch of packets of hot sauce. I'm just going to drench my food in teriyaki sauce. I know some people don't like teriyaki sauce, but I'm obsessed with teriyaki chicken. And then I just kind of mix that up. Can't forget the hot sauce. This is like sriracha sauce, pretty much. I wonder if the influencers turn off their car and then do this, but it's really hot. It's like 80 degrees outside. It's freaking hot. I love spicy food, so we're gonna put like 3 packets of these. Now let's do a taste test. It's so good. Oh, it's so spicy. That's spicy. I got my water. Oh my god. How am I gonna film this? So I kind of wrote down a list of things on my phone on topics to touch on. So first things first, I'm gonna talk about like my pregnancy. Like I mentioned in my last video, like we were planning to get pregnant this year, just like in the summer, but we ended up getting pregnant. I'm not gonna say exactly when just yet, but it was around the winter time. So we were actually, I'm also not gonna say where, because then you guys are gonna go to my Instagram and do the timeline, but I'm sure some of you guys know how far along I am. I'm just like really into like bad vibes and bad energy, and I don't like to put too much out there because I have had like backlash on that. I've had like issues and haters and just like weird stalkers, so I just really control what I put out there now, because I don't know, I just feel like people can send bad vibes and bad energy, and as it is, this pregnancy has been hard on me, and I just kind of wanted to enjoy this like really privately without like telling the world, which is why I haven't announced like my due date, because I don't know, it's not that I don't trust you guys watching. Like obviously, like I love you guys watch me for a reason, you guys love to, you know, see what's going on in my life, but it's just more so for like the outsiders, and I know I still have like people watching my page, so I am like considering, I did make a second Instagram more personal, but I'm just considering just completely shutting it all off, either by not posting my baby or just being completely private. But again, that's not fair for those who follow me, so I don't know, I haven't really decided what I'm gonna do yet. I do know that I'm just a huge believer on like energies and vibes, and I'm gonna do everything to protect my baby, because it's one thing to like say things about me, call me all these names, which I'm sure if you follow me on Instagram, you have seen me post stuff. You know, people, anything I do, like people will say something like call me all these names. So it's one thing to harass me, but like to harass my baby, like that's where like things get crossed for me. So Jay and I did have a lot to drink that night, and that's like, because people are like, how do you not know you got pregnant? Like, how are you surprised? Like, I always knew, like, every time I got pregnant, like, because we planned it. And I'm like, well, that's the thing, like, we were really drunk, and you know, it just kind of happened. We were off that Henny. Just kidding, we were off of, I think it was Casamigos, honestly. The sperm literally said to the Casa I go, and that's inside my freaking uterus. So we were just so freaking drunk that night, and I knew I was ovulating because I had been tracking like my ovulation for like a while now, because I knew like when I wanted to get pregnant and like have a baby and stuff. So I knew I was ovulating, but we had been careful this entire time that I just trusted him that he would have a good pullout game, you know? So as many of you may or may not know, I kind of shared it in like my last picture I posted on Instagram. This is not my first pregnancy, but it is my first pregnancy that I have made it like super far, which is why, again, I didn't want to share until like I knew for sure. It was with Jose, and after that it really took a toll. It really took a huge toll in our relationship. We ended up breaking up a couple times because we just couldn't, like, I don't know, it was like really bad. It was just really bad, but I'm not gonna go into that because that's like another story. So I want to start off by saying you know, it wasn't planned, but we are both very excited because, like I said, I did want to be pregnant this year, and I guess it didn't really matter when I got pregnant. I just kind of wanted to like enjoy my summer vacations and do all that, but it didn't really matter like when exactly it happened. It was more so to like be able to drink and do things this year, which is not important at all. I still got to have fun on vacation and do things. The only thing I didn't get to do was drinking, but like I'm not really like an alcoholic, and I don't care not to drink. I'm a very casual drinker, so I drink when I go out, and I was going out a lot. I know that might be surprising because I do post like myself drinking a lot, but it's all casual. I never just drink alone. Again, there's nothing wrong with that, but you know, and even when I wasn't drinking going out, like people would already question me like, oh, you're pregnant, oh, you're pregnant. I'm like, no, give me a shot. Like, boom. I feel like after this pregnancy, like once I have the baby, like I have no desire to like party and go out. Like my husband's such a homebody, and now I just kind of have an excuse not to like really go out anymore. I just don't really have the energy or the desire to like do that. Like I think like my ideal like Friday night is like being at home with my baby and like maybe sipping on a wine or something with my husband, but not necessarily going to the club or any of that. Like I feel like I lived my life already, and now like this new chapter in my life is coming, and it's time for me to like mature and, you know, be there for my small little family. My voice is just like going in and out. So because like everybody kind of knew I was gonna get pregnant after like after Miami, it came to a huge surprise to everybody that I was pregnant when I did announce it to everyone. That video is coming up like next. That's one of my favorite videos, just seeing everyone's reaction. And also because it was like more like sentimental, because like nobody expected it. Like no one expected it coming. And I think if I were to do it now and get pregnant, everybody's like, oh, well, we already knew, because like you already talked about it, like you were gonna wait till like after the summer and stuff. Oh my god, my throat. At the beginning of my pregnancy, like it was like pretty easy. Everybody was like, oh, like no morning sickness. But like once I reached like my 6th, 7th week, morning sickness just like hit me like a freaking school bus. Like it freaking like sucked. It still sucks because I still get morning sickness. And I don't even know why it's called morning sickness, because I don't get sick in the morning. I literally wake up and feel fine, which is not why I never call out of work. But once I get to work, and I think it's like the driving and just like the different smells and stuff, I'm just like I'm like gagging over everything. And I feel like my morning sickness really took a toll on me, because I would come home from work like after sitting in traffic for an hour and just go straight to like bed. And like it would make me like really, I wouldn't say like depressed, but I felt like really lonely, because you know, I would lay there and like feel like shit, and then I would see like all my friends out, I would see like my family having dinner, and I'm just like stuck in bed by myself. And then by the time it was like 8 o'clock, I would finally like get out of bed to like eat some sort of food, and it was always like quesadillas or grilled cheeses, mostly quesadillas for dinner, because like everything else like grossed me out. Like just like chicken was just like, the texture just tasted weird, and I just wanted to throw up when I saw it. So morning sickness has definitely taken over. I am in my second trimester now, and I still get morning sickness. I'm constantly gagging. Not so much like throwing up, because I learned to kind of like control it, because like every time I would throw up, I would feel bad, like, oh my babies, I barely eat, and now like I'm throwing up exactly like the nutrients and everything I'm eating, and so I would feel really bad. And so now I just kind of know how to hold it in. You know what, the spiciness is giving me a runny nose now. What was I talking about? So my morning sickness was just taking over my whole life, and it still kind of is. Like I said, like I'm learning how to like not throw up, but I still gag for like a bunch of things, and I'll get to that like next, like what I gag for. And it was just like really annoying, because like I couldn't do anything, and like my morning sickness caused me to be lonely, and I felt like really depressed, because I felt alone, and I would cry for like no reason. I was like really super emotional. I remember like the week that I didn't know I was pregnant, the week I found out I was pregnant, like I was already crying that week for like no reason. And then now, like with the morning sickness and like being alone, like I wasn't alone. I had my husband, and I had my friends, I had my family, but I felt alone because I was kind of like excluding myself from things, not wanting to do things with people, because I physically could not do anything. Like my body was so tired, I was so nauseous, and I would just throw up, and I just physically could not do it. God, I'm all kinds of sick. It's so annoying. I'm such a mess. I FaceTime my uncle a lot, and he's a doctor, so like any like concerns, I'll go to him. What can I take? What can I do? And then his wife, like she has 3 kids under, like she didn't just have a baby, her baby's 1, but she has 3 little ones, and so I always go to her for advice, or for him. And I remember like I FaceTimed them, as I always do, because I like to talk to my godson and their kids. And my uncle made a comment like man, again, like in your room by yourself, like you're such a loner. And I literally just started like bawling my eyes out, and he was just like in shock. He was like he didn't know like what he said, like he was so confused. And like his wife was like, what's wrong, like why are you crying? And I'm like, that's the problem, like I just feel so alone, like I have nobody, like I feel like I know I have people, but I just feel so lonely. Like this pregnancy is like really like taking over my emotions, and I'm just overthinking stuff, and I just feel like I can't physically do anything. And they're like, well, why don't you like do things with like your family, or like go out? And I'm like, you don't understand, like I physically can't. Like I remember like one time, it sounds like it was like forever ago, but this was like recently. I went to dinner with like my husband and my best friend, and I had to like excuse myself from the table. I went to the car to sleep because I was just so exhausted. I didn't feel good. I didn't like the smell of the restaurant, and I just could not be in there anymore. Now my morning sickness is getting better a little bit. As far as like feeling lonely and stuff, like my emotions, like that's getting better, like the emotional part of it. I'm not really like, I can eat more foods now, and I'm not like throwing up anymore, but I am still gagging, unfortunately. So that leads me to my next thing, like what are my dislikes in this pregnancy? I dislike pizza. And if you know me, you know I love pizza. Like I freaking love pizza. I can have pizza once a week, like not every day, but like once a week. I just love it. Like it's my favorite food, one of my favorite foods, pizza and wings. And in this pregnancy, I can't even like smell it. I can't even go into like a pizza shop or a house that has pizza. I will throw up. And it sucks because my husband like the other day was like, oh, can we order pizza? And I'm like, hell no. Like I'm gonna throw up, I'm gonna feel sick the entire day. Like absolutely not. Like please choose something else, because I can't. If you really want pizza, like please eat it in the car, because I physically cannot eat pizza. Also, like I can't, like it's weird, I can't see my chicken being cooked. Like let's say like my mom's cooking chicken or I'm cooking chicken, like I can't physically see it cooking because I'm not gonna want it. So I mostly like try to eat like shredded chicken or like fried chicken. I know this is grilled chicken, but I normally get this all chicken, but I'm really like loving my meats right now, like my steaks. So I did have steak and have chicken, so I can have like a little bit of both. So I'm not really like grossed out by it, but if I think about it too much, I'll probably like say ill. I also dislike like tacos. I think it's more so like the carne asada meat. Like I can't have that. What else do I dislike? I think that's it for my dislikes. As far as what I like, I've been craving a lot of like ice cream and like cheesecake and bread, like just desserts. I guess like my sweet tooth is coming out. I never had a sweet tooth. I was always like not really into sweets or candy or any of that, but I've been craving a lot of like strawberries and fruits, and which is good, you know. Like it's always good to have your fruits. Now we're in that part of my pregnancy update. I know I mentioned on my Instagram that I'm leaving everything in God's hands and I'm hoping everything's okay. But in a recent update video I did a video of, it was probably 2019, right before COVID hit. I was talking about how the doctor had found like a lump in my boobs and a benign tumor in my uterus. So the lump in my boob, there was nothing there after getting like a second checkup. And then like the actual benign tumor, I never really like went back for it because then COVID hit, and then, you know, everything was shut down, and I just kind of forgot about it in 2020. And now that I'm pregnant and I'm like going to my appointments, and I'm getting my uterus looked at every month and so, the doctor actually found 2 benign tumors now. And like I said, I knew I had 1. I didn't know I had 2. So now I see my gynecologist every month for the ultrasounds, to see the baby, you know, all that stuff you do during pregnancy. But on top of that, I also see a specialist who is keeping track of the tumors and making sure it doesn't grow with the baby. My next appointment is in July. That's going to be really the appointment that determines if the tumor's growing with the baby or not. Honestly, I'm not stressed out about it. It doesn't scare me. I'm more like the baby's fine. The baby's gonna be okay. And if something isn't going right with the tumors, you know, growing and being in the way, we live in a world where technology is so advanced that I feel like somehow, some way, it's gonna work out. Even if I have to go like in surgery and they have to remove them, like I know that like my baby's gonna be okay because how advanced we are in technology. So I'm not like too stressed about it. Would I want to have to go through all that? I wouldn't. But I would want to have them removed, obviously. Like it is really scary to like know that it's there. I know in that last video I mentioned how I got them. I'm assuming I got them from I just had a cough attack. I'm assuming I got them from my birth control. In no way, shape, or form am I saying birth control is bad for you. My body reacted in that way because these tumors were built up by extra hormones and estrogen. And what do we have when we take birth control? Extra hormones and estrogen. So I feel like my body reacted to the birth control, and I've been on birth control for like 7 years. So I mean, I'm not against birth control. I just feel like my body reacted that way. I'm also not saying that that was the reason that caused the tumors. I'm just, if I were to guess, when I asked the doctor like what caused them to grow in there, he did say it was hormones and estrogen. So, you know, I just kind of put 2 and 2 together. I feel like my body reacted differently to the birth control I took, and that's kind of like what happened to me. But like I said, I'm not like I'm not like stressing about it. I'm not like scared for it, because I feel like in the beginning I was, because when I like do my research on like what can happen with these tumors in my uterus, it says that, you know, women who have tumors in their uterus are more, they say women are most likely to miscarry, which is why like I didn't want to announce it so soon, because, you know, I don't want to announce something and then something, God forbid, happens and I have to tell everybody that like, you know, so this and this happened. And it's just not a conversation I was willing to have with like all of my followers. Like if something were to happen, like I would just rather deal with it like alone and not with like everybody. So that's why I kept it a secret for so long. Not that it was a secret, it's just, you know, one, like the energy with the world, people can be so cruel, and just like what was going on in my body, like I wanted to make sure everything was safe and secure for me to share with everybody. And I couldn't really like enjoy my pregnancy in the beginning because I didn't want to get too attached to something and like something happens. But now I'm like learning to like that it's okay, you know. And I feel like once, I don't know if I'll ever like feel attached during any pregnancy, but I know like when the baby's here it's a lot different. Like obviously the baby's here, but I think like during like, oh my gosh, I think like during my pregnancy, like I just kind of have that guard up with myself, and I know I shouldn't. Like I should just be okay with like just have like hope and be hopeful that everything's gonna be okay. Let's move on to a different topic. I think I'll end on this because like my camera keeps turning off because it's like too hot. It's like overheating, and I'm almost done with my food anyways. My boobs have grown so much, girl. It's like a blessing because I've always wanted bigger boobs, and now that I'm pregnant I'm just like, oh whoa, like where did this come from? And I hope they continue to grow more. I do plan on breastfeeding, so I know like when you breastfeed, like they're supposed to grow more, and I hope they stay like that, because your girl would like a nice set of boobies on her. People around me have said that I'm nicer now that I'm pregnant. I think the complete opposite. I feel like I'm a lot moodier because I don't feel good half the time, and I usually take it out on my husband the most because he's the one around me the most. I'm always like, no, like I don't want to do that, like no, like I can't do that. Like, I just want to be in bed, like, through everything. And I always told myself that, like, when I'm pregnant, I'm not gonna stop working out. I'm gonna keep working out. I have not worked out my entire pregnancy, and I don't know if I plan to, because I am so tired all the time. I'm exhausted. But I guess on another note, like, I weighed myself this morning, which I haven't weighed myself my entire pregnancy. I let the doctors do that and that's it. But I was like, you know what, let me weigh myself, because, you know, my eating is just all over the place. Like, I'll have like 1 or 2 meals a day, and then I'm always eating fruits and stuff. So I'm like, I'm sure like this is like the diet I should be on when I'm not pregnant. But let me go ahead and weigh myself, and I've lost 5 pounds. So I have my next appointment on Thursday. I'm gonna see, like, have them see if they say anything about my weight dropping. I know it's completely normal. Like, I posted on Instagram and a lot of people like responded back saying it's completely normal. Some people have lost like 20 pounds in the pregnancy, so I'm sure it is normal, but I have lost weight. I was a lot chunkier in the beginning, but then my morning sickness hit, and then it was all over from there. So I think that's it for today's video. I don't want to make this too long. I do have a lot of videos coming up for you guys. I can't wait for you guys to see them. And without further ado, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.